Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Just discovered FB Messenger sexting between my wife and an old flame. Want advice? Rant. I just discovered these messages in the last 30 minutes, so this will be more of a long-winded rant for now. TLDR, I know that I need to end my marriage. I would like to discuss what I should do at this moment today. My wife and I have perpetually been in a rough spot since we met, so I guess this was inevitable. We accidentally got pregnant after knowing each other for a few months and got married after knowing each other for 6 months. This was 11 years ago. We had our daughter, confirmed mine by multiple paternity tests over several years, and have been married since. Our sex life has never been great. To put it simply, we don't mesh well in bed. We separated for one summer a little over 1 year into being married, but reconciled and have been together since then. I have also known about other emotional affairs over the years. They're usually online with someone long distance. Always someone she knows or has known. Sometimes someone from work who she has never met in person because they live on the other side of the country. Every time we talk through it, make up, and seemingly move on in our marriage. That brings us to today. We have had a particularly rough patch over the last month or so. I think we have just fallen out of love. Last night she showed me a close-up video she took of her masturbating, which was a little off-brand, but I watched it with her because why wouldn't I, lol. Afterwards, something about the fact that she felt the need to record it planted a seed inside of my head. This morning she left to go spend some time with her dad and I opened her laptop and discovered the messenger conversation with an ex-BF who now lives across the country with enough incriminating evidence. Full-on sexting. Video calls. Pictures and videos exchanged. Dirty talk, fantasies about meeting up and having sex with explicit details. I could go on, but I think that you get it. My marriage is not healthy and it will be best for everyone if we get a divorce. Obviously that is a hard thing to go through, but what should I do today? I don't know how to bring this up without admitting that I was spying on her by going through her laptop. Of course, what she is doing is 10000x worse, but I just don't know how to start this conversation with her. I started to text her an emotional message about how the video last night made me feel and how I thought that it was meant for somebody else, but never sent it. I don't know what else to say. All of us in this situation can always benefit from any advice, but I think this is a journey that everyone has to ultimately go through on their own. This is more of a rant, but I think that it helped to get some of my thoughts written down like this. I would assume that a lot of people on this sub have gone through similar emotions to what I'm feeling right now. What did you do in the immediate aftermath of discovery? Thanks all. Get copies of what you saw. Get your finances situated. Talk to a lawyer. Just get all your ducks in a row. I have copies saved to my own Google Drive. She completely takes care of our finances, but I am the main source of income for us. We have a little saved, but most of our income goes to living expenses. Long story, but I served her for divorce back when we first separated. That eventually fizzled out since we got back together, but retaining that lawyer was $1,000 10 years ago. I'm guessing it's got to be more now and I need to do it, but that's a lot of money. Consult with your lawyer, but it is probably in your best interest to do a forensic accounting of your finances, since your wife is in charge of the finances. Hidden accounts may be discovered. It's better to be safe than sorry. Side note, in the future never give someone else complete autonomy over your finances. Not just your Google Drive. A USB you can store away, maybe at work. Just somewhere she can't potentially get to it. Do you have a joint accounts? No, one shared that both of our paychecks get direct deposited into. That's a joint account. Sorry, you're right. My mind is all over the place right now. Understandable. If you retained him, shouldn't he still be working for you? Do these things have expiration dates? Without saying anything about what you discovered on FB Messenger, it might be best if you sat down with your wife and talked with her about the state of your marriage. You can then ask her if there is anything she would like to talk about that could cause the complete destruction of the marriage. Find a way to bring this up in a manner that will let her know that you know what is going on, but will keep her from asking if you were snooping on her. Essentially, it paints her into a corner. This makes sense, but I think it's best to just be open and honest with her. This is going to be a difficult conversation either way, and I don't want to be held up on trying to maneuver what I say. Your point is well taken. Unfortunately, I was never able to confront my wife, because I discovered her affairs 2 weeks after she died in January of 2005. Why? She isn't being open and honest with you. No, the conversation is not about clearing the air, it's now about getting out of this relationship in the best way for you. Actually, that has very little to do with talking to her. Lawyer up. Take their advice. Don't tip your wife off until you have to. Lawyer up, today. Separate financially, today. 2A, create a second account. Her name is not on this account. This is where your paycheck goes. 2B, consult with 1, regarding separation of liquid joint assets. 3, get tested for STDs, today, tomorrow. 4, consult with 1, regarding the following. 4A, obtaining all text messages from her phone. If she pays the bill for the phone, this is a non-starter. Cell phone providers differ. 4B, obtaining all messages from your home computer. ISPs differ, as do state laws. 4C, if the cell phone is yours, ask 1 and CPP about installing remote monitoring SW. 5, there is SW to undelete anything ever written on a computer. Buy it, run it. Go through every folder, deleted apps, JPEGs, GIFs, etc. Warning, you may find out more than you already know. Tomorrow evening. 6, do not leave the house. In some jurisdictions this can be seen as abandonment of spouse, property. Work, errands are fine. Home is where you lay your head at night. 7, do not confront. 1, will tell you the time and place. 8, buy a VAR, often at the same place you purchased. 5, have this on your at all times. 9, your conversation strategy on anything not related to your children is grey rock. Google it. Next week. 10, cheater may realize something is up when you separate the accounts. See 8, 9, for how to handle that. 11, I see, individual counseling, for you. 11A, let your work know you may need time off for personal reasons. Play this by ear. 12, BPT, be prepared to put your daughter in IC. 13, once cheater understands you are moving forward with divorce, be prepared for any or all of the following: yelling, screaming, gaslighting, deflection, speaking in tongues, attempts at intimacy, all of the above. 13A, if cheater confronts you. 8 and 9. This is off the top of my head. Good luck and sorry you joined our club op. Gosh brother, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you'll get all kinds of advice from people here. I've been currently going through my own marriage issues, so I'll refrain from giving you personal advice. Sometimes wounded people, which I am currently, give the worst advice. I'll tell you what my mother told me, however. She told me to be strong for my children, so they are not worried about me and wondering what's up with their dad. At first I thought it strange, but it has helped me tremendously in keeping me focused on something other than what seems to be a failed marriage. I'm always available brother if you need to vent. Stay strong, love your child, respect your spouse, and hopefully this will be a distant memory that you and your spouse can laugh at in the future. This is a beautiful response, thank you. First, married people shouldn't have these secrets between them. Your life as a married person means you have every right to know what harmful things your spouse is up to. Never be ashamed you spied on your spouse, they should be ashamed you felt it was warranted. Now have a conversation with your wife. Explain that you feel it would be best to split up and go separate ways. Tell her she should go do what makes her happy and you will do the same. Ask her what she thinks. Then hash out the rest. Good luck. Yay, good point. We've been down this road before, so I know how this conversation is going to go. She probably won't feel that ashamed that I had to snoop and it could devolve into petty arguing between us. She'll focus on the snooping and we won't get anywhere. In the end, I am an adult and will take care of this. I just wanted to talk through this with a few people online for now. She's still not back home, so I'm just sitting here alone with my thoughts, and the dog. Thanks for the reply. It sounds like you had a bad, dead marriage, for a long time. So, don't let this aspect send you for a tailspin. This might have been a godsend for both of you to move on from this unhappy marriage. Focus on trying to minimize your separation and divorce from your child. Do an equitable division of assets, for your child's sake, as little fighting between the two of you as possible. Do as much North Carolina with your wife as possible, cause even though it wasn't a happy marriage, it still is hard to separate. And move on. What she did is a symptom of an unhappy, mismatched marriage. Don't take it personal and move on. It has been a relatively sexless marriage, but not a loveless one, if that makes sense. Maybe that is what's making this harder for me. She knows how the lack of sex chemistry affects me, and I have an idea of how it affects her too, especially based on my findings today. I'm looking for the easiest separation possible, but in order to get that, her and I will need to navigate it as a team. It's an emotional process no matter what, but hopefully we can get through it and all of us can come out in one piece on the other side. You are effectively teaching your daughter that this is what marriage is supposed to be. If, God forbid, one day she marries an abusive narc of a husband who beats and abuses her, will she stand up for herself, or will she follow what you are teaching her right now and stay? What I did was simply leave the house and ask for divorce. But then we didn't have kids. I thought we had a great relationship until I accidentally found evidence of adultery and verified it for 2 weeks. I just packed up and left. But not before I waited for them at the hotel lobby to check in, stayed the whole time they were up in the room, and finally saw them leave. She came home to an empty house, then I texted her that we should divorce. Didn't even have to tell her why. She said okay. She knew what she did was a deal breaker and didn't fight it. Your marriage has been troubled from the beginning. That's reason enough. Just ask for a divorce and give her a "we tried for 11 years but it's not working out" speech. To tell you frankly, it's not even about the EA, it's all about the joyless and soulless marriage. Good luck. This all seems too dramatic to me. I would agree that she deserves to be treated this way, but it's just not my style. For example, what do I get from canceling joint credit cards at this point? Especially before confronting her? There are a lot of WS who would intentionally do you financial harm. Obviously you know more about yours than we do. But it's something that you should always be mindful of. Just remember, you are thinking about her in terms of being your wife and partner. She is cheating on you. She is neither of those things anymore. She is your adversary until such a time that she can prove that she isn't. You aren't the first guy to think what you are thinking. There are men all around the world that have been systematically fleeced by the legal system. You have to limit her ability to spend marital money outside the marriage, such as buying the affair partner gifts, etc., while a lawyer can go through all the transactions to sort out whether money was spent inside the marriage or outside of it. It's best to cut off that spending altogether. In any case, you need to get her served with divorce papers fast. In many states, this is where the community property status ends, so it's urgent you get to that point. Your lawyer will advise you more specifically about this. Show your wife this, it should explain her feelings best. I didn't even think about doing this, but I think that it could actually be helpful. Thanks for the advice. Do not give away your hand until you decide if it is worth saving. It will give her time to plan and make you the bad guy. No, don't show her anything until you are ready to file. Wayward wife gave up on us. Advice. So last August I, 37 meters, discovered that my wife, 37F, of nearly 9 years and friend of 19 years had been having an affair with a coworker, 52 meters. Both of them are doctors and were VPs at their work. She changed companies in September 2019, but the affair continued, with them taking some breaks, so she says. He divorced his wife of 20 years, 3 kids, in July 2020 and had an engagement ring for my wife. She kept me in limbo until late September and then finally committed to work on things. We did marriage counseling until December and she said we were in a good spot and could take a break for the holidays. Around New Year's a mutual friend asked if my wife would talk to him because he wasn't doing well. Despite my pleading, she talked to him and said it was fine. Then their companies worked on a joint vaccine event together and he started showing up to weekly calls, working the event in March. Early April I get ilibnilwy. Back in limbo now, and she would switch from get divorced to work on things. Sometimes every day, every few days, every week. This was hell on me emotionally and physically, lost 30 pounds. Day after Memorial Day she tells me she filed for divorce. She still sees the guy and I'm sure they'll start something serious soon, if not get engaged. At this point I'm consulting lawyers and trying to emotionally detach from her. We have a son, so we are still in the house together but sleep in different rooms and independently spend time with our son. Some days I want her to wake up and realize what she's doing. Some days I just want to move on. It hurts a lot to feel like I'm being replaced, and I'm especially hurt that she's moving so quickly to be with him. I worry about our son, he's very anxious in general, and that she's going to introduce him quickly to this guy. They have already met several times, though my wife says they didn't hang out. I worry about being replaced in my son's eyes. Any advice for me, on any front? My state is a no-fault state, so the affair doesn't matter to a judge. Thanks. Expose, expose, expose. Consult that shark, pitbull lawyer and follow their instructions to a T. Exposure is your negotiation tool. Their reputations are of vital importance to their future. Your wife is gone. What you need to decide now is, who is going to control the narrative? This is true. The lawyer told me not to put anything on social media since we are effectively in litigation at this point. Her mom knows and confronted her about it 2 weeks ago, and now she doesn't talk to her mom. I had already let many of my friends know and many of our joint friends from college. One of her reasons for filing for divorce is that she says she wouldn't have anyone supporting her to stay with me and that I would have all the support I need. I told her my friends would support her and she says only if I stay with you. She was not happy about that and seems to be fine cutting those people out of her life entirely and finding new friends. Classic affair fog move. All that she needs is her AP and no one else's. Gonna be fun when that blows over. Bingo. Burn it down. She's a doctor. AP is a doctor. Find the nastiest shark divorce lawyer you can find. Protect yourself and your child. She's gone. But your lawyer should teach the doctors the definition of alimony. It's the screwing you're getting for the screwing you got. I make a decent living, so alimony/maintenance is unlikely. That's the worst part here. They do this and get off without any consequence. You don't need to keep her filthy secrets anymore. As a respected member of society, what will the hospital think when you call HR with an ethics complaint? Good question. Get the meanest divorce lawyer you can find and go after her anyway. If your state permits it, sue him for alienation of affection. Did you support her at all during her med school residency? If so, your lawyer can work with that, too. If your lawyer says it's okay, reveal. Nothing like a little adultery to mess up their comfy work reputations. It's time to cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war. We didn't get married until after med school, just dated, but we did pay off her med school loans while married. I've heard of the alienation of affection. I'll have to see if my state allows it. If you helped pay off the loans together, you in effect helped finance her education. Talk to your lawyer to see if there's anything to work with there. It's not the government's job to hand out consequences for an affair. It's your job. And it seems like you didn't. When you discovered the affair, you were supposed to kick her ass out of your house, tell literally everyone, friends, family, her job, cut off contact and stop giving her the time of day, and make her miserable with the use of the courts and lawyers. When you made eye contact with her, there should have been a look of utter disgust plastered on your face because of what she did. But you didn't do any of that. You pleaded, you took her to marriage counseling, you put in effort to fix a marriage that she destroyed. And in the end she filed on you. If you want consequences, you create consequences, and there's no time like the present for dishing out justice. You are right. I did the pick-me dance when I found out. Hey op, been following and talking with you on SI. The thing here is they're not getting away with anything. This will not work out, you know, down the road this will crash. Unfortunately for her, she will have a broken home with a child that will eventually know what she did. She will be alone. She will be incapable of holding on to a relationship, because she will realize that it was really you that mattered in every way. You on the other hand will find that true partner and will start to make history that is so wonderful together as a family. Duckstick op, well, he'll die alone. Oh wow, thanks. SI is great, but Reddit is so much easier to post on, follow with the phone app. I really hope you're right. My counselor seems to think it won't work. What is its foundation? Lies, deception, lust, but not love. Nope, not love. She keeps talking about their deep emotional connection and that he just understands her. She also told him insecurities about herself. She never told me about our nearly 20 years friendship / 10 years marriage. Just seems so odd. If you think about it, is that really true, or is that what she has told you? More than likely the two of you have discussed those things, just in a different way or context. Well, she told him these things for sure. What gets me is why the F she didn't tell me these things 10+ years ago. You know, that would be a great discussion for SI on Monday. You should ask it, we all could dig deeper. Get some insight from some of the BWs there. Yeah, it sucks. I'm a hypocrite because I would not be able to handle what you are going through. But maybe being in the mind state of needing her to have a consequence is holding you back. People are crazy men, they will do what they feel, and no matter how hurt you are and how much you reason, superglue won't even get them to stick to you. Let her go. Follow the path of the least resistant. Yeah, I know. I've finally realized I just have to let her go. She's done what she was, no matter how much it hurts me, our son, our family. Let her go and sever all contact and communication with her. Your wife is not interested in communication, only control. You have a son together, but obviously he is not her priority. Let her maintain the relationship with her son if she chooses. There is no need to encourage your son to communicate with her. His mother will do more harm than good. If your son is old enough to choose whom he wants to be with and he chooses you, consider moving away. A fresh start in a new place will be helpful for the both of you in the healing process. The further away the better. Survive each day as it comes. You will get through this. Which is why you get the meanest sob divorce lawyer you can find. Besides, look at the alimony as money you can set aside for your child and/or retirement fund for you. If you keep evidence of their affair, send it to their respective HR departments. While there is the possibility that nothing will come of it, it will be logged. And strangely enough, eventually it will come back on the gruesome twosome. Also move on with your life. Keep in mind that they both cheated in their respective marriages. What makes you think they won't eventually do it to each other? Well, he's 52 and now has a 37-year-old woman. I can't see him cheating. I can see getting bored with him, no matter how much he gets her emotionally, which is what she keeps saying. She's such a loser. What a walking talking cliche. I can't believe she doesn't just die from embarrassment. Why can't you see him cheating? He is cheating now. He is a doctor surrounded by plenty of potential next Mrs. Right Nows. They deserve each other. God, this was painful to read. I can't imagine what you must be going through. Couple things from someone who also got the love you but not in love with you. She's made up her mind. She's open about her choice, and as much as it pains you, you need to come to terms with it. That she's a shitty person to throw away a 9-year marriage, break a family and emotionally destroy her partner must tell you where her priorities lie, herself. Unfortunately, you can't teach compassion and empathy. I suggest you accept that she's checked out and move on from that perspective of reconciliation. There's no way your son will accept this other man as a father. I don't think you should be worried about that, and instead, focus on being the best father for him. Because your wife won't be the good parent. She already took away his chance of a healthy family. And lastly, take care of yourself. Eat, drink water, read, exercise. Spend as much time with your son as you can. He needs you. Consider therapy. Good luck, brother. Thanks, it has been pretty horrible. She has been overly babying my son. He's 6, so I'm guessing that's out of guilt. She has him sleep in bed with her every night, dotes on him all day long. I try to help him learn to be independent, but still am there when he needs me. I try to take him to do fun things, swim with friends, go out to eat, visit family, etc. I've been able to eat better and sleep better than last week or two, so that's good. I need to get some exercise now that I'm not nauseated all day. I'm also doing therapy on the side with a counselor. Going to try a psychologist next week. That's weird and creepy that she's babying him like that at a time like this. I wonder if you would ever say to her something like, you know, no matter how much you dote on him and spoil him, it won't change the facts of what you're doing. Someday in the not too distant future, he will piece it together and he will know exactly what you are, someone who can't be trusted. All the stuff you're doing is sure gonna look worse from the perspective of a teenager/young adult than it does right now. No amount of coddling now will change how he is going to feel one day when he figures it all out. And don't expect me to lie to him about any of it. Anything he asks I will answer, in an age-appropriate way, honestly. I remember this feeling of constant nausea well. It's horrific. At the end of the day, this behavior is incredibly selfish, especially when children are involved. She's babying your child because she's got to feel terrible about how she single-handedly has completely changed his life, all for this relationship built on lies. Don't expect that to end anytime soon. You have an uphill battle ahead of you, but first things first. You need to make the decisions now. You have let her wane back and forth for much too long. Everything now has to be logistics and about the child and moving through the divorce. Try and separate ASAP cause that will help and be the one to finally file. When you meet with an attorney for a consultation and give them a quick rundown of your situation and say it out loud, you will realize how crazy this all sounds. Think of your situation from the outside looking in. You would 10,000% have told that friend to run away long ago. Don't waste any more time catering to how she's feeling, and if she's sad she's losing your mutual friends. All my friends stayed with me since their morals no longer aligned with my ex-husband's. I hear you. I understand. It will truly get better. Take her to the cleaners and air it all out on social media. Make sure everyone that knows both of them know. Lawyers said not to post anything, so I'm going to follow that advice. The biggest thing you need to come to terms with: you can't do a thing about He will be around your son. All you can do is ask your WW to not bring different men around your son. And pray she makes good choices. I was the same way, 28, and I would have been good with disappearing any guy she had over. Then there would just be a next one. I let go. My ex married a really good guy. Treated my daughter like his family. Invited me to birthday parties. Would always spend time talking to me when I came. Now, just like me, I was shown an example. So any woman I dated who had kids, I returned the favor. I know I can't help it, and I know she'll be bringing this guy around my son no matter what. I could handle someone else, just not the guy she's replacing me with. How did you let go? You start hanging out with friends and date other women, so you can learn that even more attractive women can appreciate what a good catch you are. You suddenly realize, damn, it's not the end of the world, I can do so much better. Eventually you get to a healthy phase and are able to be romantically involved with someone that will make you very happy. She might bring him around, but she can't replace you unless you let your relationship deteriorate with your son. She's not worth another moment of your time. Get a tough lawyer and cut the best custody deal you can get with assurances that she can't leave your area with the child. I'm sorry for your troubles, but pining over a lost cause isn't gonna do a thing for you or your child. I know, thanks. Good thing is my state starts at 50-50 custody. You know what? That bed sharing stuff where she frequently sleeps in the same bed as him currently, and the infantilizing treatment she's smothering him with, that's potentially fodder for getting greater than 50% custody. Ask your lawyer if that's an angle to consider. The minute you let her dictate the terms when the affair came to light was the end. Sorry for you, bro, but it's not too late to become a better you. Vision, my friend. I know. I need to focus on me and my son. I don't really see him replacing you in your son's eyes, if that helps any. No one has really mentioned the age gap, 15 years, and this is quite significant. He may well be closer to her parents' age than hers. What do her relatives think? You are a much younger man and will have stamina that he just doesn't have, so can be a more dedicated dad. You won't come home and just nap in the chair or need your own space. You won't have the early signs of age-related health problems like him. In return, your wife will be taking on the mother role part-time for 3 older children. Is she cut out for this? Assuming he retires at, say, 65, she will be 50 and still have 15 years to go before she can join him. Age gap problems aren't always about having things in common. She's about to find out that there are some very practical differences too. Sure, he can give his best for their date, but what she won't see is his recovery time after. She has only really seen his A game and made her decision based on this. That does help. Since I've already been replaced in my wife's eyes/heart by him. Can't stand if that happens with my son. Yeah, I see that age gap is huge. Her parents are like 65, so he's right in the middle. I doubt she can be a mother to his kids, like 10, 14 and 22. I've tried, and a marriage counselor tried telling her that what she has had with him is a fantasy. Doesn't seem to care. Demand a clause on the custody agreement forbidding her from introducing your son to new people. Demand primary custody and child support. Go as nasty as possible in the divorce. Threaten to expose her and use this as a bargaining chip. Drag the divorce as much as possible and make it as difficult as possible for her to be with him if she doesn't want to give you a bigger cut in the divorce. She is likely in an affair fog, which means that she is likely to accept better terms for you in exchange for making the divorce quick so she can go stay with her AP. After the divorce is done, expose her anyway. You owe her nothing. How can you tell that she's still in the affair fog? That's a good point. Quit letting your wife control this. Have you been served? If not, file yourself and serve her. If so, who is staying and who is leaving? Do you have to sell your home? Make plans for yourself and your son without her. Joint custody is fine, but you need a stable home for when he is with you. Only talk with her about your son, property division, or court dates. Do not engage in anything else. She is checked out, so don't feed her, possibly, guilt or play the blame game. I have been served as of 2 weeks ago. I'm not leaving, that's for sure. She can leave if she doesn't want to be around me. We really just talk about our son and the house bills/etc. I'm sorry, but did I read it right? You have a son together, but still your wife decides to have an affair and gaslights you, and you are still expecting her to be back. Are you thinking how this is impacting on your son? You still haven't started with the divorce proceedings, and she is going to blame you for the affair, and you'll be sucking up to it for the rest of your lives. Changes are necessary now. It's now or never. Up to you, but think about the lessons you are providing to your son. A good friend said the same thing. I need to stand up for myself here and show my son what a man does in this situation. He doesn't know what is happening yet. Just that something is odd at home since mom and dad sleep in different rooms and don't do anything together anymore. Oh no. You don't have to stand up for yourself. You are too weak to do that. You have to stand up for your son. A cheater breaks the entire family by having no empathy and leaving all they love for thrill or a new chance or to start over, already ruining whatever they had. If the BS don't take care of themselves and don't stand up to them for at least their morals and self-esteem, it just shows how weak and hypocrites we are while the cheater have their cake to eat. I don't recommend getting back at her. It's a waste of energy and draining and not worth it. She wins that way. I've been through this. My ex had at least 2 affairs I now know about. Cut your losses, be glad you won't have to pay her alimony, and walk away. Focus on you and being happy and making a new life for yourself. When you are happy, that's the biggest FU out there, and trust me, she'll notice. Yeah. I need to be happy. I've been listening to podcasts from adadstartingover.com. A lot of their focus is on self-improvement. Consult a good lawyer, and go for the jugular. At this point your wife is not your friend. She already surprised you with the divorce filing and the continuing of the relationship, especially introducing your son to AP. That was foul. Her actions were premeditated. True, you will need to co-parent with her, but during the divorce proceedings she is the opposing side. The 2 most important people in this situation should be you and your son, period. You must do everything in your power to protect that relationship. You probably will get joint custody. How old is your son? Remember, you're his dad and always will be. That bond will always be there. Do you have family and friends that you can lean into for support? Don't keep what has happened a secret. Not sure about their relationship with STBX, but it could be pretty frosty now. You could use their support right now. Also, how involved are your family with your son? That relationship can also be used to your benefit. Sorry this has happened to you, but you will survive. Fight for the best financial deal you can get in the divorce and be the best dad you can be. Your focus should be your son going forward. I suggest you get the STBX used to using a co-parenting app and only communicate about the divorce and your son. Things are probably not as rosy for wife and AP as you think. He has divorced his wife of 20 years and has 3 kids of his own to deal with. Who knows how those relationships are faring? I'm sure your wife is not his children's favorite person either. Do you happen to know the ages of his children? Again, sorry this has happened, but you will get through this. You have your relative youth on your side. You're only 37, focus on your healing and your son. Embrace this next phase of your life. You never know what lies ahead, new love, new relationships, more kids, maybe? You never know, stay strong and good luck. I'm lucky in that I have a lot of family and friends in town and they all support me 1000%. They also all love my son, 6 years old. I hope things aren't rosy for the AP. He deserved nothing but the worst. Part of me is looking forward to being with someone else. She's not always been the kindest, most affectionate person to me, for a long time. Not just during the affair. So I would walk on eggshells around her. Wow, I'm so glad that you have friends and family around you for a support system. Use them to strengthen and support the familial bonds between you and your son. It takes a village, yada, yada. As far as STBX and AP, I hope they get all the happiness they deserve, lol. I was pleasantly surprised that you are looking forward to dating. Many people in your situation would either be totally lost or be doing the pick-me dance. So glad you are beyond this point. It seems like the divorce will be somewhat of a relief for you. You know you deserve better and you will do better. I hope this never happens, but be prepared for any hoovering by the STBX. It is basically her return or attempt to be involved in your life, other than co-parenting. Please look into co-parenting apps. You will not regret it. They are great at maintaining a workable relationship, and distance between ex-partners. Hoovering usually happens when the newness of the affair has worn off and reality sets in, or when she gets wind that you have moved on and are seeing someone new. Consider yourself lucky if this does not happen. Wishing you the best of luck in everything. Keep us updated on your progress. You got this. I hope you have hired a really good family law attorney. Ask for no less than 50-50 custody of your son. Your son will need you more than ever, and loves you. He's not going to replace you with some guy that's old enough to be his grandfather. But you'll want to make sure you have equal time with him to keep him from being anxious about losing you. In a lot of states you can still get child support with 50-50 custody depending on the disparity in incomes. You and your son are probably entitled to that, and you'll probably want it for a college fund for him or a new house, or who knows. Her AP will be paying a ton of money for his spousal support, child support, or college tuition, or whatever his family needs, so make sure you and your son get your fair share from her income. Don't take this treatment lying down. Ask for what you want and need to get on with you and your son's life. Yes, this is your son's mother, the woman you committed to love forever, your friend of 19 years, etc. But she is also a cheating liar who didn't uphold her promise to forsake all others, the woman who you probably helped get through at least her residency, whether that help was financial or emotional or both. This is the woman that took her thoughts and her time emotionally and physically away from you and your young son to meet up and have sex with some jerk. This is a woman that was complicit in breaking up a 20-year marriage. She's really not a very nice person. So go full on in dealing with this bad situation for your sake and that of your son. Because she sure hasn't cut you any breaks. I should get 50-50, and if she tries to say I'm a bad dad, I'll have 30 people testify otherwise. And my boss will testify that I was a single dad for 2+ years while she was working a lot at her last job with the AP. Her AP is paying a lot. I looked up his divorce agreement. You're right, I do need to ask for what I want/need. She thinks that since the law says it's 50-50 custody and asset division, that's what I'll accept. I have leverage here and I should ask for more. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.